How well do you really know your own child? You see them every day. You make their breakfast, you drive them to school, you ask about their homework. You think you know everything about their life. But what if you're wrong? What if the person sleeping down the hall from you is carrying a weight so heavy they can barely breathe? What if they're drowning right in front of you and you can't see it because you're not looking in the right places? What if your child has been planning their own death and you had no idea? My name is Jennifer Williams. I'm 42 years old. I'm a marketing director, a divorced mother, and until 3 months ago, I thought I knew my 16-year-old daughter Mia better than anyone in the world. I was wrong. For 8 months, Mia has been carrying a secret so devastating that it was slowly killing her. For 8 months, she's been attending study group twice a week, except it wasn't a study group, it was grief therapy for teens contemplating suicide. My daughter has been suicidal since her best friend took her own life last January, and I didn't notice. I didn't ask the right questions. I was so busy managing my own stress, my demanding job, my contentious divorce, my financial struggles, that I missed the most important thing. My daughter was breaking apart. This is the story of how I discovered the truth, how a mother's intuition finally kicked in when it was almost too late, how a study group that was supposed to improve Mia's grades was actually saving her life. This is the story of the worst conversation I've ever had with my daughter, and the moment everything changed between us. Let me take you back to where this all began, to the day Mia's best friend died, the day my daughter's world shattered, and I was too blind to see it. It was January 15th when I got the call from the school. I was in a meeting with my boss and 3 clients discussing a campaign deadline when my phone buzzed for the third time. I'd been ignoring it. You don't take personal calls during important meetings, but something made me glance at the screen. 3 missed calls from Mia's school, 1 voicemail, 2 text messages. My stomach dropped. I excused myself and stepped into the hallway, already grabbing my coat and keys. Miss Williams? The school counselor's voice was gentle but heavy. I need you to come pick up Mia. There's been an incident. One of her classmates passed away this morning. Mia is very upset. We think it's best if she goes home. What happened? I asked, already grabbing my coat and keys. Was there an accident? A pause. Too long. Miss Williams, I think it's better if we discuss this when you arrive. Please drive safely. When I got to the school, I found Mia in the counselor's office, hunched over in a plastic chair, sobbing so hard her entire body was shaking. Mia, baby, what happened? She looked up at me with red, swollen eyes and said 3 words that would haunt me for months. Sophie killed herself. Sophie Chen, Mia's best friend since 3rd grade, the girl who'd slept over at our house countless times, the girl who made Mia laugh until she couldn't breathe, the girl who'd helped Mia survive middle school bullying and my divorce. Sophie had hanged herself in her bedroom sometime during the night. Her younger brother found her that morning. She was 15 years old. The funeral was 5 days later. I'd been to funerals before. My father, my grandmother, colleagues who'd passed away. But I'd never been to a child's funeral. Nothing prepares you for that. The church was packed with teenagers, all of them crying, all of them looking lost and confused and terrified. Because when you're 16 years old, death isn't supposed to touch you yet. You're supposed to be immortal. You're supposed to have decades ahead of you. Sophie's parents were destroyed. Her mother could barely stand. Her father gave a eulogy that broke everyone in that church. My daughter was in pain, he said, his voice cracking, and I didn't know. I didn't see it. I failed her. Mia sat next to me, silent and stone-faced. She didn't cry during the service. She just stared straight ahead, her hand gripping mine so tightly it hurt. After the funeral, I tried to talk to her. Mia, sweetheart, I know this is incredibly hard. If you want to talk about Sophie, about what you're feeling, I'm here, anytime, day or night. I'm fine, Mom, I promise. Are you talking to anyone about Sophie? The school has counselors. I'm fine. I don't need a counselor. Your friends must be struggling too. Are you guys supporting each other? Yeah, we talk about it sometimes, but honestly, I'd rather not dwell on it all the time, you know? I just want to move forward. That sounded healthy to me. Not dwelling on trauma, moving forward. Wasn't that what you were supposed to do? So I backed off. I gave her space. I trusted that she was handling it in her own way. I was so terribly wrong. By March, 2 months after Sophie's death, I started noticing small changes. Mia's grades were slipping. She'd always been a solid B-plus student, occasionally pulling A's in subjects she liked, but her report card showed C's and D's. Her math teacher sent an email saying Mia had stopped turning in homework. When I asked about it, Mia just shrugged. I've been distracted. I'll do better. She was also spending more time in her room. She'd come home from school, go straight upstairs, and stay there until dinner. Sometimes she'd skip dinner entirely, claiming she wasn't hungry. She stopped hanging out with her other friends. Before Sophie's death, Mia's social calendar was packed. Movies, mall trips, sleepovers. Now, nothing. What happened to Emma and Jasmine? I asked. You used to see them all the time. We grew apart. It happens. Because of Sophie? Can we not talk about this, Mom, please? So I didn't push. I told myself it was normal. Grief changes friendships. Teenagers are moody. She'd bounce back eventually. Then, in late April, Mia came to me with a request. Mom, I want to join a study group for school. It meets twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, from 4:30 to 6. Is that okay? I was thrilled. Finally, Mia was taking initiative. Finally, she was trying to improve her grades. Finally, she was getting out of the house and being social again. Of course that's okay. That's great, honey. Where does it meet? At a community center downtown, the Anderson Center on 5th Street. A teacher from school organizes it. Which teacher? Mr. Patterson. He teaches history. I knew Mr. Patterson. Nice guy. Very patient. I'd met him at parent-teacher conferences. That sounds perfect. Do you need me to drive you, or are you taking the bus? I can take the bus. It's right on the route. Okay, I'm really proud of you for doing this, Mia. I know things have been hard, but you're taking steps to improve. That's really mature. She gave me a small smile, the first real smile I'd seen from her in weeks. Thanks, Mom. For the next few weeks, the study group seemed to be exactly what Mia needed. She left the house every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m., backpack full of textbooks and notebooks. She came home around 6:15 p.m. and went straight to her room to work on homework. Her grades started improving, not dramatically, but she brought a C+ up to a B- in English. Her math teacher stopped sending concerned emails. But I started noticing something else. Mia came home from these study sessions with red, puffy eyes, like she'd been crying. The first time I asked about it, Mia, have you been crying? Your eyes are all red. Allergies, she said quickly. The center is old and dusty. Do you need allergy medication? I'm fine, Mom. But it kept happening. Every Tuesday, every Thursday. Red eyes, puffy face, withdrawn mood. And she wasn't just withdrawn when she got home, she was almost brittle, like if I asked her the wrong question, she might shatter. How was study group? Fine. What did you work on today? Math. Did Mr. Patterson help you with... Mom, I'm really tired. Can we not do 20 questions right now? She'd go to her room and close the door, and I'd stand in the hallway staring at that closed door, feeling like there was a wall between us that kept getting higher. By mid-May, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. It wasn't just the red eyes, it was everything. Mia had lost weight, not a lot, but enough that her jeans were loose and her face looked thinner. She was eating less at dinner, pushing food around her plate. She was sleeping more, or at least spending more time in bed. On weekends, she'd sleep until noon, then go back to bed at 9 p.m. She'd stopped listening to music. Mia used to blast pop music in her room while doing homework. Now, silence. She'd stopped posting on social media. Her Instagram, which used to be updated daily with selfies and food photos and random observations, had been dormant for months. When I hugged her, she felt fragile, like she might break. "Mia, I'm worried about you," I said one night after she'd barely touched her dinner. "I know Sophie's death hit you really hard, but it's been 4 months now, and you seem like you're getting worse, not better. Maybe we should think about—" "I'm fine, Mom," she interrupted, her voice sharper than usual. "Why can't you just accept that I'm fine?" "Because you don't seem fine, sweetheart. You're not eating, you're sleeping all the time, you're isolating yourself." "I go to study group twice a week. That's not isolating." "I know, and I'm glad you're doing that. But outside of study group, you're always alone. You never see your friends anymore." "I don't want to see them." Mia's voice cracked. "Is that okay with you? Is it okay if I don't want to hang out with people who remind me that Sophie is dead?" She stood up from the table, eyes filling with tears. "I'm doing the best I can, Mom. I'm trying. I'm going to study group. I'm doing my homework. I'm not failing out of school. What more do you want from me?" "I just want you to be okay." "Well, I'm not okay," she shouted. "My best friend killed herself, and I'm not okay, and I'm never going to be okay, so can you please just leave me alone?" She ran upstairs. Her bedroom door slammed. I sat at the dining table, staring at her half-eaten dinner, feeling like the world's worst mother. "Mr. Patterson, he teaches history." I knew Mr. Patterson. Nice guy, very patient. I'd met him at parent-teacher conferences. "That sounds perfect. Do you need me to drive you, or are you taking the bus?" "I can take the bus. It's right on the route." "Okay. I'm really proud of you for doing this, Mia. I know things have been hard, but you're taking steps to improve. That's really mature." She gave me a small smile, the first real smile I'd seen from her in weeks. "Thanks, Mom." That night, I did something I'd never done before. I went into Mia's room while she was asleep and looked through her things. I felt terrible about it, invasive, like I was violating her privacy. But I was terrified. My daughter was falling apart, and I didn't know how to help her. I looked through her backpack first. Textbooks, notebooks, pens, normal student stuff. I checked her desk drawers. More school supplies, old birthday cards, a photo of her and Sophie from 8th grade, both of them grinning at the camera with braces. My heart clenched. I opened her laptop. I knew her password, a detail from when she was younger that she'd never changed. Her browser history was mostly YouTube videos, Instagram scrolling, online shopping she couldn't afford. Nothing alarming. I checked her closet, not sure what I was even looking for. Drugs, alcohol, evidence of self-harm? Nothing. I looked under her bed, just dust bunnies and a few pairs of shoes. I was about to give up when I noticed her journal on her nightstand. Mia had kept a journal since she was 12. I'd always respected that boundary. I'd never read it. It was hers, private. But tonight, I picked it up. My hands shook as I opened to a random page, dated 3 weeks ago. I can't do this anymore. I just can't. Everything hurts all the time, and I'm so tired. I'm tired of pretending I'm okay. I'm tired of lying to Mom. I'm tired of waking up every morning and remembering that Sophie is gone and she's never coming back. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to just stop, to not have to feel this anymore. I understand why Sophie did it now. I really do. The journal slipped from my hands and hit the floor. I stood there in my daughter's dark bedroom, my heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out, and realized my daughter was suicidal, and I had no idea. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the living room, staring at the wall, replaying every conversation I'd had with Mia over the past 4 months. Every time she'd said, "I'm fine." Every time she'd changed the subject when I asked how she was doing. Every closed door, every skipped meal, every red-eyed return from study group. How had I missed this? I was her mother. I was supposed to protect her. I was supposed to know when something was wrong, and I'd been so focused on my own problems, my demanding job, my contentious ex-husband, my credit card debt, that I'd let my daughter slip through the cracks. At 6 a.m., when I heard Mia's alarm go off upstairs, I was still sitting on the couch, fully dressed, having not moved all night. I heard her shower run, heard her moving around her room, heard her come downstairs. She stopped when she saw me. "Mom, why are you awake? Did you sleep down here?" "Mia, we need to talk." Her face immediately closed off. "I have school." "You're not going to school today. Sit down." "Mom, I can't miss." "Sit down." Something in my voice made her obey. She sat at the kitchen table, backpack still on her shoulders, looking wary. I sat across from her, trying to figure out how to start this conversation. How to tell your child you violated their privacy, but you're glad you did because now you know they want to die. "I read your journal last night," I said. Mia's face went white. "You what?" "I read your journal. I'm sorry. I know that was a violation of your privacy, but Mia, I was worried about you, and You had no right." She stood up, tears already starting. "That's private. How could you?" I interrupted, my voice shaking. "You wrote that you can't do this anymore. You wrote that everything hurts. You wrote that you understand why Sophie did it." Mia froze. "Are you—" I could barely get the words out. "Are you thinking about hurting yourself?" Silence. "Mia, please, I need you to be honest with me right now. Are you thinking about suicide?" She sank back into the chair, her face crumpling, and then she was crying, really crying, the kind of sobbing that comes from deep in your chest, the kind that's been held back for so long it hurts when it finally comes out. "I'm sorry," she gasped between sobs. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't want you to know. I didn't want to worry you. You already have so much stress with work and the divorce and money, and I didn't want to add to it." "Mia," I moved around the table and pulled her into my arms. "Baby, nothing is more important to me than you. Nothing. Not work, not money, nothing. Do you understand that?" "I'm trying so hard to be okay," she cried into my shoulder. "I'm trying, but I miss Sophie so much, and sometimes I just want the pain to stop. Sometimes I think about what it would be like if I just wasn't here anymore, and I hate myself for thinking that, but I can't make it stop." "Have you made any plans?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady even though I was terrified. "Have you thought about how you would do it?" A pause. Too long. "Mia?" "There's a bottle of sleeping pills in the bathroom cabinet," she whispered. "I've thought about taking all of them. I haven't done it, but I've thought about it." My blood ran cold. "How long have you been feeling this way?" "Since Sophie died. Since January." 4 months. My daughter had been suicidal for 4 months, and I hadn't known. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, even though I already knew the answer. "Because you would have freaked out, because you would have sent me to therapy or put me in a hospital or something. Because I didn't want to be that person, the broken one, the one who can't handle life. I wanted to deal with it on my own. You can't deal with this on your own, Mia. This isn't something you just push through. This is serious. This is. My voice broke. Baby, I can't lose you. Do you understand? I cannot lose you. We sat there crying together for a long time. When we'd both calmed down, I asked the question that had been burning in my mind. The study group, the one you've been going to twice a week, is it really a study group? Mia wiped her eyes and shook her head. What is it? It's a therapy group for teens dealing with grief and suicidal thoughts. Everything clicked into place. The red eyes, the withdrawn mood, the emotional exhaustion. How did you find it? The school counselor told me about it right after Sophie died. She said if I ever needed help, there was a group that met at the Anderson Center. She gave me the information. And you've been going for 2 months, since late March. Why didn't you tell me? Because I knew you'd make a big deal out of it. I knew you'd start watching me all the time, treating me like I'm fragile, worrying constantly. I just wanted to handle it quietly. Mia, this is a big deal. You're dealing with suicidal thoughts. That's the biggest deal there is. I know. That's why I went to therapy. I'm trying to get help, Mom. I just didn't want to involve you because I know how stressed you are already. I took her face in my hands, making her look at me. Listen to me. I am your mother. My job, my only job that really matters, is to take care of you. Yes, I'm stressed about work. Yes, the divorce was hard. Yes, money is tight. But none of that matters if I lose you. Do you understand? You are the most important thing in my life, and I need you to promise me that you will never, ever try to handle something this serious on your own again. Mom, promise me, Mia. I promise. That afternoon, I called the therapist who ran the group. Her name was Dr. Sarah Mitchell. She confirmed that Mia had been attending for 2 months and that yes, the group focused on grief and suicide prevention. Mia has made significant progress, Dr. Mitchell told me. When she first started coming, she was in a very dark place. She had active suicidal ideation, meaning she was thinking about specific methods and plans. That's extremely concerning. My heart stopped. And now? Now she still struggles with depression and grief, but the active suicidal thoughts have decreased significantly. She's developed coping mechanisms. She's built a support network within the group. She's doing the work. She never told me any of this. I know, that's common with teenagers. They want to handle things independently. They don't want to burden their parents. But I'm glad you found out because family support is crucial for recovery. What do I do now? Be present. Listen without judgment. Let her know she can talk to you about anything. And consider individual therapy for her as well. The group is wonderful, but she might benefit from one-on-one sessions too. Whatever she needs. I also recommend therapy for you, Miss Williams. For me? You're dealing with a lot too. Your daughter's suicidal ideation, your own guilt about not noticing sooner, the stress of being a single parent. It would be good for you to have support as well. I hadn't thought about that, but she was right. That day, we didn't go to work or school. We stayed home and talked. Really talked. For the first time in months, maybe years, we had an honest conversation about what was really going on. Mia told me everything she'd been feeling since Sophie's death. The guilt, the fear, the overwhelming sadness that colored every moment of every day. I keep thinking about the last time I saw her, Mia said. It was the Friday before she died. We had lunch together at school. She seemed fine. We talked about regular stuff. Homework, weekend plans, this guy she liked. Everything seemed normal. And then she went home and killed herself that night. And I keep wondering if I missed something, if there was a sign I should have seen, if I could have stopped it. Mia, Sophie's death isn't your fault. But what if I'd asked her if she was okay? What if I'd noticed something was wrong? Then you'd be carrying guilt that isn't yours to carry. Sophie was struggling with things you couldn't have known about. Her parents didn't know. Her therapist didn't know. Yes, she was seeing a therapist. Did you know that? Mia shook her head, tears flowing again. Sometimes people hide their pains so well that even the people who love them most can't see it. That doesn't make it your fault. Then why do I feel so guilty? Because you loved her. And when someone we love dies, especially like this, we always wonder what we could have done differently. But Mia, you were a good friend to Sophie. You made her life better. You gave her happy memories. That matters. Mia also told me about the therapy group. There are 8 of us, she said, all teenagers who've lost someone to suicide. Some lost friends, some lost siblings. One girl lost her dad. What do you do in the group? We talk about our feelings, about what we're going through, about the guilt and the fear and the anger. And sometimes we don't talk at all. We just sit together and know that everyone in that room understands. Has it been helping? Yeah, more than I expected. It's the only place I can be completely honest about how I'm feeling, the only place where I don't have to pretend I'm okay. You should be able to be honest with me, too. I know, I'm sorry I wasn't. Why did you tell me it was a study group? Because I knew if I told you it was therapy, you'd insist on being involved. You'd want to meet the therapist, ask questions, maybe even sit in on sessions. And I needed it to be mine, you know? Something I was doing for myself, without you hovering. That stung, but I understood. I get that. But Mia, if you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, I need to know. That's non-negotiable. I know. I'm sorry. The next few weeks were hard. I started watching Mia constantly, terrified I'd miss another sign. Every time she was quiet, I worried. Every time she went to her room and closed the door, I panicked. Mia noticed. Mom, you need to stop hovering. I'm okay. How do I know that? How do I know you're not just telling me what I want to hear? Because I promised I'd be honest with you, and I am. Yes, I still have bad days. Yes, I still think about Sophie and get sad, but I'm not planning to hurt myself, I swear. But you thought about it before, and I'm still here. I'm getting help. I'm doing better. You have to trust me. Trust. That was the word that kept coming up. Mia needed me to trust her, but how could I trust her when she'd been lying to me for months? Dr. Mitchell, I'd started seeing her for my own therapy sessions, helped me understand. You're not trusting that Mia won't struggle, she explained. You're trusting that she'll tell you when she does. There's a difference. What if she doesn't tell me? What if she hides it again? Then you'll deal with it then. But right now, you need to give her space to heal while still being present. It's a balance. A balance. That was the hardest part. I also started learning about suicide and depression in teenagers. I read articles, I joined online support groups for parents, I educated myself on warning signs I'd missed before. I learned that Sophie's suicide had put Mia in a high-risk category, that losing a peer to suicide increases a teenager's own risk significantly, that I should have been more vigilant, more aware, more present. The guilt was overwhelming. I failed her, I told Dr. Mitchell in one session, crying so hard I could barely speak. I was so wrapped up in my own problems that I didn't see my daughter was falling apart. You didn't fail her. You're here now. You're getting help. You're learning. That's what matters. But I should have known. Jennifer, even trained professionals miss signs of suicide sometimes, even people who work in mental health every day. You did the best you could with the information you had. Now you have more information, and you're doing better. That's all anyone can ask. Mia continued going to her therapy group every Tuesday and Thursday, but now I knew where she was really going. And when she came home with red eyes, I didn't ask if she was okay. I just gave her a hug and let her know I was there. We also started having weekly check-ins. Every Sunday evening, we'd sit down together and talk about how we were both doing, really doing. Scale of 1 to 10, how was your week? I'd ask. Sometimes Mia would say 6 or 7. Sometimes she'd say 3. What made it a 3? I had a nightmare about Sophie. I failed a quiz in chemistry. I felt sad for no reason. What would help this week be better? I don't know, just getting through it, I guess. Sometimes there was nothing I could do to make things better. Sometimes all I could do was sit with her in the sadness and let her know she wasn't alone. That was hard for me. I'm a fixer. I'm someone who sees a problem and immediately wants to solve it, but you can't fix grief. You can't fix depression. You can only support the person going through it. In June, Mia asked if she could attend Sophie's birthday. Well, not Sophie's birthday. Sophie was dead. But Sophie's parents were having a memorial gathering at their house. Sophie would have turned 16 on June 8th. Her parents wanted to honor her memory with the people who loved her. Do you think that's a good idea? I asked carefully. Will it be too hard? Probably, Mia admitted. But I want to go. I need to go. Sophie's parents asked me to come, and I think I need closure. Okay, but I'm coming with you. Mom, non-negotiable. You're going to a memorial for your best friend who died by suicide. I'm coming. You don't have to talk to me or introduce me to anyone, but I'm going to be there. Mia nodded. Okay. The memorial was beautiful and heartbreaking. Sophie's parents had set up a table with photos of Sophie throughout her life. Baby pictures, school pictures, candid shots with friends. In every photo, Sophie was smiling. Looking at those photos, you'd never know she was in pain. You'd never guess that behind that smile was a girl struggling with depression and hopelessness. That was what scared me most. If Sophie could hide it so well, what else was Mia hiding? Mia spent a long time looking at the photos. She cried. Other teenagers cried with her. They hugged each other. They shared stories about Sophie. Sophie's mother, Mrs. Chen, pulled Mia aside at one point. I stayed back but watched from a distance. Mrs. Chen was crying. Mia was crying. They hugged for a long time. Later, in the car on the way home, I asked Mia what Mrs. Chen had said. She thanked me for being Sophie's friend. She said Sophie talked about me all the time. She said I made Sophie happy. That's true, you did. But I didn't make her happy enough to stay alive. Mia, Sophie's depression wasn't about you. It wasn't about whether her friends loved her enough or whether her life was good enough. Depression is an illness. It distorts your thinking. It makes you believe things that aren't true. Sophie's death wasn't a reflection on you or anyone who loved her. Then why does it feel like I failed her? Because grief and guilt go hand in hand. But I need you to hear me. You did not fail Sophie. You were an amazing friend to her, and she knew that. By the end of summer, Mia was doing better. Not better like she was completely healed. Grief doesn't work that way. But better like she was learning to live with the loss. Better like she was finding ways to honor Sophie's memory without being consumed by it. She started volunteering at a suicide prevention organization. She helped run a phone hotline for teenagers in crisis. I want to help other people who are going through what I went through. I want to be there for someone the way my therapy group was there for me. I was proud of her, but I was also terrified every time she went to volunteer, wondering if hearing other people's suicidal thoughts would trigger her own. I'm okay, Mom, she kept assuring me. This actually helps. It reminds me why I'm still here. She also started talking about Sophie more openly. Before, mentioning Sophie was off limits. Mia would shut down or leave the room, but now she'd share memories. Sophie used to do this thing where she'd snort when she laughed really hard, remember? It was so embarrassing for her, but it was the best sound in the world.
I remember. I miss that laugh. I know you do. I'm glad I got to know her. Even though it hurts now, I'm glad I had her in my life. That was progress. Being able to remember the good parts without being destroyed by the loss.
But healing isn't linear. That's something Dr. Mitchell kept telling me, and I really understood it in September. School started again. Mia was going into her junior year, the same grade Sophie should have been entering. Walking into school without Sophie, seeing Sophie's empty seat in classes they used to share, hearing teachers do roll call and skip over Sophie's name, it was devastating for Mia. She made it through the first week, barely. By Friday afternoon, she was falling apart. I got a call from the school counselor. "Miss Williams, I think you should come pick up Mia. She's having a really hard day." When I got to the school, Mia was in the counselor's office, curled up in a chair, crying. "I can't do this," she said when she saw me. "I can't be here without her. Everywhere I go, I see places we used to hang out. I see her locker. I see people wearing shirts she used to wear. I can't do this, Mom." "Okay, let's go home." "But I have to go to school. I can't just skip." "Yes, you can. Not forever, but today you can. Today we're going to go home and order pizza and watch movies and not think about school." "I'm supposed to be stronger than this." "Says who? Mia, you lost your best friend less than a year ago. You're allowed to have hard days. You're allowed to struggle. Strength isn't about never falling apart. It's about getting back up after you do." That weekend was rough. Mia barely left her room. She wasn't eating. She was sleeping all day. Sunday night during our check-in, I asked the question I was terrified to ask. "Mia, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it right now?" She stared at her hands for a long time before answering. 4. 4. That was the lowest she'd been since I found out about her suicidal thoughts. "Are you thinking about hurting yourself?" A pause, then barely a whisper. "Yes." My heart stopped, but I forced myself to stay calm. Dr. Mitchell had prepared me for this moment. "Thank you for being honest with me. Have you made any plans?" "No, I'm just thinking about it, like it's this option in the back of my mind. I don't want to do it, but I can't stop thinking about it." "Okay, we need to call Dr. Mitchell." "Mom, it's Sunday night." She gave me an emergency number for situations exactly like this. We're calling her. Dr. Mitchell talked to Mia for 45 minutes on the phone while I sat outside the room, my hands shaking, trying not to imagine the worst. When Mia finally came out, her eyes were red, but calmer. "Dr. Mitchell wants to see me tomorrow," she said, "an emergency session, and she wants me to check in with her every day this week, morning and night." "Okay, whatever you need." She also asked if we have any pills or sharp objects in the house. She said we should lock them up. I'd already done that months ago, right after I found out about the sleeping pills, but I nodded. "Already taken care of." She said this is normal, that setbacks happen, that it doesn't mean I'm not making progress. She's right. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like I'm right back where I started. You're not. You're here. You're talking to me. You're asking for help. That's completely different from where you were in April when you were hiding everything. The next few weeks were intense. Mia saw Dr. Mitchell 3 times a week instead of just attending the group. I took time off work to be home more. We implemented a safety plan, a specific list of things Mia would do if she felt herself getting to a dangerous point. The plan included: tell mom immediately, call Dr. Mitchell's emergency line, go to a public place, don't be alone, use coping mechanisms from therapy, breathing exercises, grounding techniques. If none of that works, go to the emergency room. We printed it out and put copies in Mia's room, in her backpack, and on the refrigerator. "I know this seems extreme," I told her, "but I need to know you have a plan. I need to know that if you're in crisis, you know exactly what to do." "I hate that I need this. I hate that my brain works this way. I know, but we're going to work with the brain you have, not the brain you wish you had. And right now, your brain needs extra support. That's okay. Slowly, painfully slowly, Mia started stabilizing again. By October, she was back to a 6 on the scale. She was attending school regularly, though she had accommodations in place. She could leave class if she needed a break. She had extensions on assignments when she was having bad days. She started seeing her friends again. Not the same friends from before. Emma and Jasmine had drifted away during Mia's darkest months, but new friends, kids from her therapy group who understood what she was going through. We're going to see a movie on Friday. Is that okay? Of course. Which movie? Some comedy, nothing serious. We specifically picked something light and stupid because we all need a break from heavy stuff. That sounds perfect. Do you need a ride? No, Kayla's mom is driving, but thanks. I watched her get ready that Friday, putting on makeup for the first time in months, actually caring about her outfit, smiling at herself in the mirror, and felt hopeful. In November, Mia asked to do something that surprised me. Mom, I want to talk to Sophie's parents. You saw them at the memorial. Do you mean talk to them more? Yeah, I don't know, I want to tell them I understand now what Sophie was going through. I want them to know that I get it, and I'm sorry I didn't see it in her. Mia, they don't blame you. I know, but I need to say it anyway. So I called Mrs. Chen and arranged a meeting. We met at a coffee shop on a Saturday afternoon. Sophie's parents looked older than I remembered. Grief ages you. Mrs. Chen hugged Mia for a long time when we arrived. Thank you for reaching out, she said. We've been thinking about you. We sat down, and there was an awkward moment where no one knew how to start. Then Mia took a breath and said, I want to tell you something. After Sophie died, I had a really hard time. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I understood why Sophie did what she did because I felt the same way. Mrs. Chen's hand went to her mouth. Mr. Chen reached across the table and took Mia's hand. I'm okay now, Mia continued quickly. I got help. I went to therapy. I'm still here, but I wanted you to know that I understand what Sophie was feeling, and I'm so sorry I didn't see it in her. I'm sorry I didn't know she needed help. Mrs. Chen was crying. Oh, sweetheart, we didn't know either. We were her parents and we didn't know. If we had known, we would have done anything, Mr. Chen finished. Anything to save her. I know, and I want you to know that Sophie had good days too. Days when she was happy. Days when she laughed so hard she couldn't breathe. Days when she loved being alive. She wasn't suffering every single moment. Thank you, Mrs. Chen whispered. Thank you for telling us that. They talked for 2 hours about Sophie, about depression, about the guilt they all carried, about how they were learning to live with the loss. When we left, Mia seemed lighter. How do you feel? I asked in the car. Better, like I said something I needed to say, like maybe Sophie's parents needed to hear it too. I think they did. By December, nearly a year after Sophie's death, Mia was in a much better place. She was back to mostly B's in school. She had friends. She was sleeping normal hours. She was eating meals with me and actually tasting the food. She still had bad days, days when the grief hit her out of nowhere and she needed to spend the evening in her room crying. Days when getting out of bed felt impossible. But she also had good days, days when she laughed, days when she made plans for the future, days when she talked about college and careers and all the things she wanted to do with her life. I think I want to be a therapist, she told me one night, like Dr. Mitchell. I want to help teenagers who are going through what I went through. That's a beautiful goal. It's also selfish. I want to help them so I can prove to myself that Sophie's death wasn't meaningless, that something good came from all this pain. It's not selfish to want meaning from tragedy. That's how we survive it. On January 15th, the 1-year anniversary of Sophie's death, Mia asked if we could visit Sophie's grave. We went together, bringing flowers. The cemetery was cold and quiet. Sophie's headstone had a photo of her smiling. Mia knelt down and placed the flowers. "Hi, Soph," she said quietly. "It's been a year. I'm still here. I'm still fighting. Some days are really hard, but I'm doing it. I'm staying." She was quiet for a moment, tears streaming down her face. "I miss you every single day, but I'm learning to live with missing you. I'm learning that I can be sad you're gone and still be glad I'm alive. Both things can be true." She stood up and wiped her eyes. "I love you. I'll always love you. And I'll always wish you'd stayed. But I understand why you couldn't." As we walked back to the car, Mia said something that broke my heart and healed it at the same time. "Mom, I need to tell you something." "Okay." "There was a night in April, before you found out about the therapy group, before you read my journal. I had the sleeping pills in my hand. I was going to take them. I stopped walking." "What stopped you?" "I thought about you, about how you'd be the one to find me, about how it would destroy you, and I couldn't do that to you, so I put the pills back and called the crisis hotline instead. That was the night I decided to actually try to get better, not just go through the motions, but really try." "Mia, I know you feel guilty about not noticing sooner, but Mom, you saved my life just by existing, just by being someone I couldn't bear to hurt. That's what kept me alive enough to get help." I pulled her into a hug right there in the cemetery parking lot, and we both cried. That night, we had our regular Sunday check-in. "Scale of 1 to 10? I asked. 7, maybe 7.5. 7, the highest she'd been since Sophie died. What made it a 7? I survived the anniversary. I thought it would destroy me, but it didn't. I'm still here. That feels like I'm stronger than I thought." "You are. You're incredibly strong. I learned it from you." In February, Mia made a decision that surprised me. "I want to go back to the school counselor," she said. "Not because I'm in crisis, but because I want to help start a grief support group at school for other kids who've lost someone." That's amazing. There are probably other students going through what I went through, hiding it, pretending they're okay. I want to create a space where they don't have to pretend. Within a month, Mia had worked with the school counselor to establish a peer support group. It met once a week during lunch. Mia was one of the student leaders. The first meeting, 7 students showed up. By the end of the semester, they had 20 regular attendees. "How does it feel?" I asked after one of the meetings. "Like I'm doing something that matters. Like Sophie's death didn't just take something from the world, it also created something. This group exists because she died. That doesn't make it worth it, but it means something." By spring, Mia was thriving. She'd been accepted into the National Honor Society. She'd started playing volleyball again, something she'd quit after Sophie's death. She'd even started dating a boy from her therapy group named Daniel, who understood her struggles because he had his own. She was still seeing Dr. Mitchell once a week, still attending the therapy group on Thursdays, still having bad days occasionally, but the bad days no longer consumed her. They were just days, hard days that would pass. "I think I'm going to be okay," she told me one evening as we were making dinner together. "I know you are. Not just okay, I think I'm going to be happy again. Not all the time, but sometimes. More than I thought was possible." "You deserve to be happy, Mia." "So do you, Mom." She was right. I did deserve to be happy.
My own therapy with Dr. Mitchell had helped me realize that I'd been so focused on taking care of Mia that I'd neglected taking care of myself. I'd been running on fumes for years, through my divorce, through single parenthood, through financial stress, through my daughter's suicidal crisis. Dr. Mitchell helped me understand that I couldn't pour from an empty cup, that taking care of myself wasn't selfish, it was necessary, that Mia needed a healthy mother, not a martyr. So I started doing things for myself. Small things at first, taking a yoga class, meeting friends for coffee, reading books just because I enjoyed them, not because they were productive. I started dating again, something I hadn't done since my divorce 3 years ago. Nothing serious yet, just dinners with interesting people, conversations that had nothing to do with my daughter or my job, reminders that I was a person outside of being a mother. Mia noticed. "Mom, you seem happier." "I am happier. I think we both are." "We survived, didn't we? We both almost didn't, but we did. We did. And we're going to keep surviving. Together." It's now January again. 2 years since Sophie's death. Mia is 17, a senior in high school, applying to colleges. She wants to study psychology. She wants to work with teenagers who are struggling with mental health issues. She wants to be the person for someone else that Dr. Mitchell was for her. We're sitting at the kitchen table on a Saturday morning, working on her college essays. One of the prompts asks about a challenge she's overcome and how it's shaped who she is. Mia is writing about Sophie, about depression, about learning to live with loss. "Is this too heavy?" she asks, showing me her draft. "Will colleges think I'm too damaged?" First of all, you're not damaged. You're a survivor. And second, this essay is powerful. It shows strength, resilience, and self-awareness. Any college would be lucky to have you. She smiles. "Thanks, Mom." As I'm reading her essay, one line jumps out at me. "My mother once asked me why I didn't tell her I was struggling. The truth is, I thought I was protecting her. I thought if I could just handle it on my own, she wouldn't have to worry. I didn't understand that parents would rather carry their child's pain with them than watch them suffer alone. I understand that now." I look up at her, tears in my eyes. This is beautiful. It's true. I'm sorry I tried to carry it all by myself. I'm sorry I lied about the study group. I'm sorry I... Stop. You don't need to apologize anymore. You were 16 years old, dealing with trauma, trying to survive. You did the best you could. So did you. I wish I'd noticed sooner. But you noticed eventually, and when you did, you didn't just notice, you actually did something about it. You got me help. You learned about mental health. You changed your whole life to be there for me. Not every kid has a parent who does that. Later that day, Mia asks if we can talk about something serious. Of course, what's up? "I want to tell you something I've never told anyone, not even Dr. Mitchell." My heart rate picks up. "Okay." "The night I almost took the sleeping pills, the night I called the crisis hotline instead, I had written you a note, a suicide note. I feel like I can't breathe." "What did it say?" "I still have it. Do you want me to read it?" "Only if you want me to." She goes upstairs and comes back with a folded piece of notebook paper, worn and creased, like it's been unfolded and refolded many times. She hands it to me. I unfold it with shaking hands.
Dear Mom, I'm so sorry. I know this is the worst thing I could ever do to you, and I'm so sorry. But I can't do this anymore. I can't wake up every day and pretend I'm okay when I'm not. I can't keep feeling this pain every single moment. I'm so tired, Mom. I'm so tired of hurting. Please don't think this is your fault. You're the best mom anyone could ask for. You've done everything right. This isn't about you. It's about me and this thing inside my brain that won't stop telling me I'd be better off dead. I miss Sophie so much it physically hurts. Some days I can't breathe because the grief is crushing my chest. And I know everyone says it gets better with time, but it's been 4 months and it's not better, it's worse. Every day without her is worse than the day before. I don't want to die. I just want the pain to stop, and I don't know how to make it stop without dying. I love you so much. Please take care of yourself. Please don't blame yourself. Please remember that I tried. I'm sorry I'm not strong enough. I love you, Mia. I'm sobbing by the time I finish reading. Mia? I'm glad I didn't do it, she says quickly. I'm so glad I'm still here, but I needed you to know how close it was, how close I came to not being here. Why are you telling me this now? Because I want you to understand that when I say therapy saved my life, I mean it literally. That crisis hotline, the therapy group, Dr. Mitchell, they saved me. And you saved me by finding out the truth and making sure I got help. But if I'd noticed sooner, then maybe I wouldn't have gotten that close to the edge. Or maybe I would have anyway. We can't know. What we do know is that I'm here now, and I'm okay now, and we can't change the past, but we can learn from it. She takes the note back from me and does something I don't expect. She tears it up. What are you doing? I don't need this anymore. This note represents the worst version of me, the version that thought death was the only option. I'm not that person anymore. I'm someone who knows there are always options. Someone who knows that pain is temporary, but death is permanent. Someone who understands that asking for help is strength, not weakness. She throws the torn pieces in the trash. I'm not going to kill myself, Mom. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I can't promise I'll never struggle with depression again. I probably will. But I can promise that I'll ask for help when I need it. I can promise that I'll fight to stay alive, because life is worth living, even when it's hard. Mia is now 19 years old. She's a sophomore at university, studying psychology. She's thriving. She still sees a therapist, a new one at her college. She's part of a mental health advocacy group on campus. She volunteers at a suicide prevention hotline. She's dating seriously now. Daniel, the boy from her therapy group, followed her to the same university. They understand each other in ways I don't think I'll ever fully comprehend. She calls me every Sunday for our check-in. We still do the scale of 1 to 10. Most weeks she's at a 7 or 8. Some weeks she's at a 5 or 6. Occasionally she's at a 9. She's never been at a 3 or 4 again, and if she ever is, she knows exactly what to do. Last month, Mia gave a talk at her university about teen suicide prevention. I watched a recording of it online. She stood on a stage in front of 300 students and told her story about Sophie, about her own suicidal ideation, about the study group that saved her life. If you take one thing from this talk, she said at the end, let it be this. If you're struggling, tell someone. If you're thinking about hurting yourself, tell someone. It doesn't have to be a parent. It can be a friend, a teacher, a counselor, a hotline volunteer, anyone. But don't suffer in silence. Don't try to handle it alone. And if someone tells you they're struggling, believe them, listen to them, get them help. You might save their life. The audience gave her a standing ovation. I watched from my living room, crying proud tears. Sophie Chen has been gone for 4 years now. Mia still thinks about her, still misses her, still wishes things had been different. But she's learned to carry the grief without letting it destroy her. She's learned that you can hold sadness and joy at the same time, that you can miss someone desperately and still build a beautiful life.
Every year on Sophie's birthday, Mia visits her grave. She brings flowers and tells Sophie about her life, about college, about Daniel, about the students she's helped through the crisis hotline. I'm living for both of us now, she tells Sophie's headstone every year. I'm living the life you didn't get to have, and I'm making it count. As for me, I've learned something too. I've learned that being a good mother doesn't mean preventing your child from ever experiencing pain. It means being there when they do. It means creating a space where they feel safe telling you the truth, even when the truth is terrifying. I've learned that asking for help isn't weakness, it's courage. That therapy isn't something to be ashamed of, it's a tool for survival. I've learned that you can fail as a parent and still have a chance to make it right, that mistakes can be forgiven, that relationships can be rebuilt. Most importantly, I've learned that communication is everything. If Mia and I hadn't talked, really talked, with honesty and vulnerability, I might have lost her. The study group's secret might have stayed a secret. Her suicidal thoughts might have stayed hidden until it was too late. But we did talk. We broke down the walls between us. We learned to be honest about pain. And that honesty saved her life. Last Sunday, during our weekly check-in, Mia said something that made me cry. "Mom, I need to thank you for something." "For what?" "For not giving up on me, even when I was at my worst, even when you pushed me away, even when I lied to you about where I was going and what I was doing. You never gave up. You kept trying to reach me, and eventually you did. I'm your mother. I'll never give up on you." I know, and that's what kept me alive. Knowing that someone loved me that much, knowing that someone would be destroyed if I died, that's what pulled me back from the edge. You pulled yourself back, Mia. You did the hard work. You fought to stay alive. I just held space for you while you did. We did it together. That's what matters.